Now, if you're not excited for this, please, 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 hype levels to the max. Woohoo! Hello and welcome everybody. This is going to be a video about the Goblins and Gnomes expansion for Hearthstone. A month's time. Some of them I actually have individual pictures for, which you were able to click on. These ones are the ones which I found on the website itself, explaining about it, and these are the ones which are not got separate pictures. This one, for instance, has, so I'll go over that in a little bit before or maybe after this section. But anyways, the ones which are not individual, I will talk about now quickly and my thoughts on them. We got the Blingtron 3000, which is obviously a legendary card. Battlecry, equip a random weapon for each player, and it's 5 mana. 3/4. It's not the best, obviously stats, but obviously for 5 mana, it's not too bad. And the main thing for it, obviously, is if you've got other minions already out, the Battlecry for this will equip a random weapon for each player. Not for minions, but obviously for yourself and somebody else you're playing against. We've got the Bomb Lobber. Battlecry, deal 4 damage to a random enemy minion. Again, for 5 mana, it's not the best. For stats, it's 3/3. It obviously can get taken out very quickly, but the idea is, obviously, if there's a strong opponent on the board, you'll do that. If there's just one thing, like as a Drake, you'd obviously fire this guy out, and it deals with it. And you still got board presence, so you got to think they've used 5 mana, use 5 mana, and you taking it out. So, Boom Bot. Obviously, the theme here is these are the mechs, which would be the gnomes, and that is the goblin. Boombot is death rattle, deal 1 to 4 damage to a random enemy for 1 mana, 1/1, which is not too bad, especially for early game. Kind of makes sense for the mana cost. That is in one of the cards, so I won't go through that. And this one, all 4 of these actually, so we skip that. Here we go. These are the ones which are not on the individual things. We have, for 2 mana, the Flame Cannon, and this is obviously for a mage. Deal 4 damage to a random enemy minion, which is very good. You can use that late game. You can use, obviously, beginning, if save against Zoo or anything, you can use this for 2 mana for the cost. For the mana, that's very good. Again, this is mage, 4 mana for 5/4 stats, which is, you know, pretty good for 4 mana. Battlecry, if you control a mech, deal 4 damage randomly split among enemy characters. So it's kind of like arcane missiles. And for, you know, I think that's pretty cool. This one's another card, so I won't go over that yet. Mech Rapper. For 2 mana, it is a 2/3. Your mechs cost 1 less. So overall, that's pretty good. And obviously on the curve, that'll work very well. So you get 1 less for each one. But for even for the mana cost, that's pretty good. Mechaneer Thermoplug, obviously another legendary. For 9, you know, very high stats. 9/7, it can be taken out by multiple things, but I still think it's worth the mana. Whenever an enemy minion dies, summon a leper gnome. So treat it kind of like Kel'Thuzad. Make sure you've obviously got minions out, and you whack this guy out. You kill them with yours, and you get some leper gnomes. Also, with a leper gnome, once they die, unless they've been silenced, it does 2 extra damage. So you can have 3 guys out, kill them off for board clearances. You get 3/2/1s, which is obviously not the best thing ever, but it's still 6 damage from attacking. And once they die, it's another 6 damage, so 12 in total. So it does work out. I think it's probably worth the mana cost. Maybe even better if it was an 8, but you know, it still works. We got the Micro Machine. For 2 mana, and it's a 1/2, not the best stats. At the start of each turn, gain +1 attack, so obviously it's good because it builds itself up. Kind of like Adventurers and them kind of cards, but obviously it'd only be attack, not the your health. Miniron's Head, which is 5, which is a 4/5. At the start of your turn, if you have at least 3 mechs, destroy them all and form whatever that means. So obviously you have to find out what that is. But for 5 mana 4/5, it's pretty good health stats. And for instance, for mages and stuff like that, you'll be out of Flame Strike, so you'd have Flame Strike and then Ping. You'd have to have 9 mana just to get rid of that, unless you've obviously got something on the board already. A Piloted Shredder. It is 4 mana for 4/3. It's okay stats for 4 mana. Obviously, it'd be better if it was a 4/4. But the death rattle is summon a random 2-cost minion, so at least you get something out of it, and that's probably why you've just got lower health. Plus you have to have a 2 minion. I don't know how that work actually, if you've got 2 minion in your cards which are already out, or it just randomly gets it out of the deck. But I assume it's probably out of the deck. None of these are actually on a minute either. So, piloted Sky Golem, or Golem, is 6 mana and it's 6/4. Again, obviously Flame Strike, so it's not always the best. Obviously, it's multiple other things which you can take out for 4 health. But same thing as the previous card, so you could obviously use this in synergy and stuff, or typicalize deck for it. Death Rattle, summon a random 4-cost minion, so you obviously it pays back what it is when you lose it. So it's quite strong anyways. The Recon Bobulator, it's pretty cool. 2 mana, 3/2, which is not too bad for 2 mana, but obviously can be taken out. There's obviously plenty of 3/2 mana things in the game already, but the battle cry is transform a friendly minion into a random minion with the same cost. Okay, let's try and figure out what that actually means. Transform a friendly minion into a random minion with the same cost. Okay, well it could work out in some synergies, you have to figure that out. This is the Shrink Mister. Looks like it's a priest card because it's white, but I'm not too sure about that. I have to find out. Battle cry, give a minion -2 attack this turn. That's not very good then, is it? For 2 mana, 3/2. Okay, well, it doesn't really work out that one, but maybe it's obviously the drawback is so you can get something for the same thing. I don't know. That one seems better for 3/2. Another legendary. We've got the Sneed's Old Shredder. Death Rattle, summon a random legendary minion. So that's a very good card. It's 8 mana and it's a 5/7, so it's got higher health. Attack's pretty good as well, so very good indeed. We have got now 3 mana, 3/4 Spider Tank. Obviously nothing extra about it. That's still pretty good for the stats for 3. That's very, especially the health as well for 3. We won't talk about that because that's a separate card. These two we can. Again, I don't think this is the priest thing, the white back. There's too many of them otherwise. Obviously that's a mage because it's blue, but that might just be the mechs cards. I don't know, but we'll have to find out if that is true or not. Because it's quite a lot for priest otherwise. Upgraded repair bot, 5 mana, 5/5. I think that's pretty good for what it is, and it gives a friendly mech +4 health. So treat it like cultist, but obviously you have to have mechs on the field to obviously buff them up, otherwise you don't get anything. Again, another legendary. So that's what that previous card was. So if it, where was it? This one here. Okay, start your turn. If you have at least 3 mechs, destroy them all, and it forms for 5 mana. It'll form this guy here. So you get charge, Mega Wind Fury, so it can attack 4 times a turn. Fucking hell, that's a bit overpowered, isn't it? Maybe they should change that to 3 times. I think 4 times is too much, so you'd have to clear that. That's gonna be absolute beast. Obviously it's a 4 attack, but imagine that 4 times, so that's 4, 8, 12, 16 damage per turn. So this is gonna be like the new fucking burst damage right here. So you have to clear that. And this one's another one which we can talk about because they've gone into them in detail with the actual cards itself. So I'll go over that separately and do them in screenshots. But I hope you enjoyed that little section, and I'll go over the other cards in a second. Okay, now we have the Enhance O Mechanico. It's 4 mana for 3/2 stats, which is not the best for 4 mana, but the main draw for this card is obviously the battle cry that you get. Give your other minions Wind Fury, Taunt, or Divine Shield at random, and I'll assume it's all your minions. It's not for that mana cost. It has to be. It won't be just one of them. It does say minions with an S, so it's got to be. So that's not a bad card. And the best card out of all of them, I personally think, for 5 mana, the Mad Bomber's brother or uncle or dad, called the Mad Bomber. and the battle cry is deals 6 damage randomly split between all other characters. So, as I saw Caperian say on Twitter, imagine this guy just steamrolling a Spectral Knight. And for the cost for it is, for the health, it's pretty good as well, 5/4, but it can be taken out by flame strikes, etc. So, watch out, Beetle's about. Okay, and we've got for 2 mana the Unstable Portal, which I would assume is a mage's card. Some of these have white backs on them, so I wasn't too sure if it's actually a priest or not, but you assume this is obviously a mage. Anyways, the effect for this is add a random minion to your hand, and it costs 3 less. So it's pretty good for how much it costs. So a very worthy card and something you could use in the mage deck. And here is another favourite of mine. For 2 mana, we've got the Explosive Sheep. Obviously, he's not the best in some ways. It's good against if you haven't got any minions out yourself and against a zoo deck. Obviously, his stats are crap for 1/1, but the death rattle deals 2 damages to all minions. Obviously, if you've got some minions out yourself, it's not going to be very good. But you can, in theory, put 2 of these out on turn 4. Or turn 3, obviously, and do the coin, and you can take out a huge chunk of a zoo deck. So it can work out, and obviously be crap over the time. And now we have, for 2 mana, the Annoyotron. Not very good for what it is, but then again, it is a taunt with Divine Shield, so, you know, early stopper for early game. The stats are 1 attack, 2 health, so, you know, in theory, it's 2 for 4. So it's not as bad, but I don't know if it fits in all decks, to be honest. Another funny one here, we've got for 7 mana, a 7/7, which is pretty good for obviously the mana cost. And it's obviously a legendary card called Dr. Boom. And battle cry is summon 2/1/1 boom bots, warning bots may explode. We have to see how this one obviously pans out, but for the mana cost, the stats are not too bad. It's pretty good. And now we have the Cogmaster for 1 mana. It is 1 attack, 2 health, so it's not again too bad for the mana cost, but the main draw for this is has a +2 attack while you have a mech, so obviously more mechs you have out, the more damage it will have as well. So the synergy with this will obviously work out with other cards. Okay, I think this one is actually a priest card because the main guy or the class specific legendary for priest is Velvin something. I forget the name, don't quote me if I'm wrong or right with this one, but which is the legendary for it, and this is obviously a spell that coincides with him. But it is give a minion a +2 attack, +4 health, and spell damage +1 for 3 mana, which is very good. Obviously, we'll have to see how this one plays out. But again, if I'm wrong about that, please someone leave it in the comment below if that is the priest one for the class legendary. But that is going to be all, folks. That's all the cards. Obviously, these ones are the ones which you can actually click on the website. The other ones, I just had to obviously screen capture it and explain it. Tell me your thoughts and your excitement, obviously, for the new expansion next month. Obviously, it's going to change the meta in a big way, like Naxxramas did. But obviously, this one is going to have a hell of a lot of cards. We've probably only covered about 20, I'd say, maybe on this. About 20 cards odd. So please leave a comment, a like, and a subscribe because there's going to be plenty more Hearthstone stuff coming from me in the future about the expansion, matches that I have, and decks, etc. See you later.